My research began with a stark fact. For years, studies have shown that roughly half of all trans men have been raped. But beyond the numbers, we knew almost nothing. When did the violence begin? Who committed it? And why is something so common gone so unexplained? When harm is this widespread and this poorly understood, silence becomes part of the violence. So to answer these questions, I conducted in-depth interviews with 3 trans men, focusing not on a single event, but how sexual violence unfolded across their lives. What emerged was not a set of isolated incidents, but a clear pattern. In childhood, gender nonconforming girls were corrected, teased, disciplined, and warned for being too masculine. In adolescence, that correction intensified into pressure to be sexually attractive and available to boys and men. In adulthood, it escalated into physical and sexual violence. Class and religion were compounding factors. In some families, obedience was taught as a female moral duty. Saying no was framed as a failure. One participant, Jessie, described being 9 years old when boys dragged her into the bushes, ripped off her underwear, and mocked her for not being feminine enough. No adult intervened. Others described being raped by partners they felt unable to refuse, or assaulted in spaces they believed would be safe, including queer communities. Across all 3 stories, the message was the same. Female masculinity was treated as deviant, and deviation was punished. For many, transition appeared to offer protection. The logic isn't hard to follow. If masculinity on a female body provoked violence, perhaps being seen as male would bring safety. Sometimes it did, and oftentimes it didn't. What changed was not the violence, but its form. These stories don't require new theory to understand them. Feminist research has long shown that sexual violence is a way of enforcing gender norms, punishing those who refuse them. Gender is not something people have. It's a rule book, learned early, enforced relentlessly, and backed by threat. The people I spoke with didn't need to be fixed. They didn't need to become men to survive. What they needed was a space in which female masculinity is not treated as provocation. Safety should not require a transformation of the self, but of the world in which we live.